3 in the Always Sunday Football Podcast. DC in the City, joined by Anthony and John, live on the line, back at home. John, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Happy to be here.
Hello and welcome. Anthony, what's up, bro?
I'm chilling.
Awesome. Are you ready for this? This is week 3, but for some, it's week 1. It's week N, where it's just the same first week over and over again. We're finding that out. So as we always do, this might be a surprise to some people if you're not familiar with the podcast. As we always do, we are going to take a look back at last week's 3-pick parlay that each of us made based on the betting lines. Johnny, last week, do you remember what your picks were? You had the Cleveland Browns giving up 6.5 points to the New York Jets. And lo and behold, the Jets actually won that game. Nobody really expected that, especially the people who picked the Browns in Survivor. You also picked the Commanders on the money line, bold, to beat the Detroit Lions. We didn't like the pick then. Still don't like the pick, and you probably like it a lot less. That didn't pan out for you. But you did hit the 51.5 over with the Cardinals and the Raiders. So you went 1 for 3 last week. Turns out I also went 1 for 3. I took the Saints on the money line. The Buccaneers beat them pretty handily, actually. I took the Texans and the points, and that was my only win because the Broncos just utterly are in shambles. And I took the Steelers on the money line, and they lost by 3 points to the Patriots. That was actually a close one. I still feel good about that. It was a hard-fought game, and the Patriots pulled it out. So that's okay. Anthony, how'd you do?
I didn't do good because I did what I like to call Moneyline Mania.
I love it. I love Moneyline Mania.
Yeah, well, it didn't love me. And I actually had some similar picks there. I had Saints Moneyline. Didn't work out, as you know. I had Miami Moneyline, though. And
okay.
Everybody gave me a little shit for that, I believe. And
that was a bold pick and a winner.
Cotton.
And they pulled it. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yes, and I had the Steelers for.
Okay, fair enough. So we all went 1 for 3 last week. Fair enough. We move on. We're just gonna learn from that and get a little better.
Yeah, sure.
Get a little better. We're currently watching the Thursday night game right now. Okay, and Johnny has a couple of players playing. We'll get to the actual fantasy performances in a little while. As of now, just before the half, the Steelers lead 14-13. And we've already had a missed field goal and a missed extra point in this game. And the kicking so far this season has been utterly abysmal. No better time to eliminate the kicker from your fantasy rosters. That was a little bit of fate for our home fantasy league. 1 p.m. The Carolina Panthers are hosting the New Orleans Saints, and they are getting 2.5 points with a 41-point over-under. This game looks pretty yucky to me. Does anybody have any feels on this game?
Well, I'll take the Saints covering the points. I think I'll take the Saints.
Okay.
I think I'll take the Saints. Right.
I can absolutely see that
because I just think the Panthers are also just absolutely garbage right now.
Yeah, I said it last week. Matt Rule does not know what he's doing, and their performance definitely showed that. Johnny?
I think it's going to be a bad game. I'm going to stay away from this game. I want no part of this game. I think both of these teams have it's the bottom of the barrel in their division. It's a division rival. Anything can happen in a division rival. But these two teams are just right now, I'm just not liking it right now. If you're looking at, I guess, a talent standpoint, I've been a big New Orleans Saints person. And I'm going to stick with it. This is a game that maybe they can a little bit ride the ship, find a little bit of consistency, but I'm staying away from this game. I want no part of it.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's yucky. I think the Saints are just the better team. I think there's no doubt about that. Right. But there's nothing fun about this one.
It's the gambler in me, John, where it's just I see it and I got to do it.
Well, 2.5 points isn't much for them to cover. They're definitely better than just 2.5 points better, in my opinion, than the Panthers. Obviously, they're getting essentially they're essentially what, like 5.5 points better because of the 3-point home advantage, which I would say that they're even better than 5.5 points better than the Panthers. So I'm
Right.
completely comfortable laying
If it
those
was
points.
5.5, I would completely stay away. But 2.5, I'll touch that.
Yeah,
2.5.
you lay that point. You lay those points. I'm with that. Texans, Bears. These are another couple teams that are just kind of gross. Just 40-point, a lot of low. There's a couple low over-unders and a couple of really high over-unders. So that's kind of fun. 40 points, and the Bears are favored by 3 points. They are at home to the Texans. You can just go ahead and give me the Texans. I'm just going to keep riding the Texans because for some reason the line has not corrected yet. Vegas hasn't corrected for the fact that the Texans are more competitive, and there's no reason for the Bears to be favored, in my opinion, even though they are at home.
I'm staying away from this game, but all these low over-unders make you want to like just get into the rooting for the over. This is the week to do it, right? There's so many. Was this 38.5 this game?
Well, where are the points coming from in this game? That's the
I
problem.
don't know.
This game I can't take the over because I mean the Texans, sure, they can score some points, but the Bears are a joke right now. The Bears are a high school offense right now.
You know, I would definitely stay away from them. But this one was intriguing. Tonight's game was 38.5. That one was interesting.
You can see points in this game. The Browns and the Steelers. I don't see that many points coming from the Texans and the Bears, especially on the Bears side. John, where are you at?
I'm taking the under on this one. It's. I obviously I want to stay away from this game. I'm with him, but I'm gonna go the under on this.
Yeah, it's a gross game. I'm actually looking at. I mean, give me if I'm getting points with the Texans
money line.
That's the thing. I'm looking at the money line just because the number is kind of nice, but I think the Texans with the points is a lock, an easy lock in my opinion. Ravens, Patriots, at Patriots, and this is another one where the Patriots are at home, but they are getting 2.5 points. Ravens, Patriots over under 44. This one's a little bit more interesting, especially the Ravens. Obviously, they have some big plays. Lamar's out of his mind right now.
Yeah, but they're just going to coming off that crazy loss.
Well, yeah, where they scored a ton of points and they got beat by a couple of huge plays as well. I mean, they got beat by another good team. The team certainly, and I think all estimations, better than the Patriots. And the Patriots really haven't looked that great.
For me, if I'm I say I go take the Ravens with the points and I go over.
Ravens, and you lay the 2.5.
Yeah.
And you take the over there.
Yeah.
This is another one where I have a hard time seeing the Patriots put up points. Johnny, where are you at?
Oh, I also think so too. If the Patriots are going to win this game, they have to have a low-scoring game. So if you want to pick the Pats and they're going to pull out this game, it's definitely got to be a low-scoring game, in my opinion. But I'm going to take the points, and I actually think Baltimore can stomp on the Patriots.
I was saying, I think if Baltimore throws up high 20s, low 30s, maybe Patriots score 10. I think you could go the over. I'll flip I'll roll my dice there and I'll take the over.
If you can tell me that the Ravens are going to score 30, then I might be interested in the over. But
the Ravens are going to score 30.
Bengals, Jets. This is 6 points going towards the Bengals' way, even though the Jets are at home. 45-point over under. Big news in this one is that the Jets are not going to play Zach Wilson until he's 110%. But as soon as he's healthy, he's going to be on the field.
But that's fine. But what?
Joe Flacco is starting for week 3 officially. John, we got to go to John first on this one. John, your Jets are getting 6 points at home to the Bengals, who have not really honestly looked very good. Where you at?
I'm going to take this. I'm going to take Cincy easy in this game. I think Cincy puts up a ton of points in this game. I think that Jets are going to get a rude awakening of why this team was in the Super Bowl. This is a bounce back game. Cincinnati's looked really bad in the first 2 weeks. I think this is the game for Cincinnati to ride the ship, and this is the game where they could get a little bit more of a confidence booster and beat up on a team right now that's really in their last rebuild year.
The Jets, you feel, are in their last rebuild year?
Yes, correct.
That is some wild stuff, buddy. That's like the hottest take of everything you just said right there. I think they're more than a year away. But that's, I guess, a conversation for a different podcast. Anthony, where do you stand? Bengals, Jets, 6-point spread, 45-point total.
Like John, make a valid point. They're gonna, this is like one of those things you just play a lesser team and you kind of just get your groove back on because they have played like absolute shit. They show no signs that they were in the playoffs last year the way they were playing. So it's very bad. Everybody thought last week against Dallas would have been a walk in the park. And they got fucking annihilated and embarrassed.
Yeah,
I was embarrassed for them.
This is a get right spot.
I want nothing to do with them. I don't want to. I'm staying away from this game just because, like what the Jets did. Flacco, John, did you know this? That Joe Flacco, after 2 weeks, is second or third.
He's third in yards and first in attempts passing.
So do you want Wilson back or do you want Flacco still there? That's my only question to you.
The team wants Flacco. The players want Flacco. Nobody wants Wilson to play. The players have all said it in different ways. They've said it that Flacco just throws a better ball. Eagles, Commanders. Johnny, these are your Manders, baby. They're at home. A lot of home dogs this week. They're giving up they're getting 6.5 points. The Eagles are coming to town. Big bad Eagles who have just looked awesome. They've been stomping people out. 47-point total in this game. I'm really looking forward to watching this one. Should be a lot of fun. I can see the over in this one. 40, even though 47,
going over.
I can see the over for sure. Even though the Eagles really did shut down on defense last week, the Commanders have looked good on offense. Carson Wentz, he's number 2 in passing yards this season. Speaking of,
he won me plenty of money last week.
Yeah, he's been killing in DFS. He's been slotting into people's lineups who've lost, your Lances and so on and so forth. But everybody is, I'm sure, sick to their stomach every time because when does he turn back into a pumpkin, John?
It's going to be a really good game. This game, I'm going to take the under though. This game.
Okay.
Explain. I'm going to take the under for this game. The reason why I'm saying that it's a division game. I'm honestly I'm going to start drinking the Kool-Aid of the Philadelphia Eagles. They are for real this year.
John, you better spit that fucking Kool-Aid out.
All right, so I'm going to be honest with you. I like Dave has been saying it since week 1. I wasn't a believer in week 1. Week 2, I was like
preseason, John.
Since the preseason, actually. So I'm sorry. But I did want to let you know that I am drinking the Kool-Aid of the Eagles. However, this is going to be a hard-fought game. I'm going to take the under, and this is going to be a low-scoring game.
Fair enough. What about you?
No, I mean, it could be one. Like, when it's divisional, it's always like those are the ones you want to stay away from, right? Like, Eagles 2-0, Commanders coming in. Like, can they stop? Can they win their first? They've, like you said, they've looked. Wentz second overall, like some crazy shit's going on. I don't ever like to mess with our division when it comes around. I'll just stay away. But I will take the over. There's no way the way the Eagles are looking that they're not scoring points on Washington because their defense isn't anything like crazy, like average defense. But
you just got to be afraid of the Eagles clamping down on defense again. If they shut down defense again, right, which is totally possible, this game is definitely going under. I think, like John said.
But I take the over here. I
take
the over.
Yeah, no, I like this is an over. I definitely like because I can see both teams. Because again, it looks a lot like the first week where the Eagles, Eagles and the Lions just put like 60, 70 points on the board.
Stupid number.
Yeah, but that's a game. This is a game I'm absolutely looking forward to watching for sure. It's going to be a fun game to watch. The Eagles have been fun each year. It's always a good time when you have the opportunity to invest in a team that you think is just going to be a lot of fun. Like a couple of years ago, it was when the Cardinals got Kyler. I was able to draft Kyler on my fantasy team, and it was just a fun time rooting for them. Last year, I think the fun team, and they've been fun this year, is the Lions. But this year's fun team so far for me has been the Eagles. Raiders, Titans. This game to me, okay, I'm going to go last on this one. Raiders, Titans. Titans at home, another home dog, giving up, or rather getting just 2 points. 45.5 point over under. John, go. I know you're a big Raiders guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it that the Raiders ride the ship this game. I think this is a get right game. The Raiders have a really good talent of team. Let's see if Josh McDaniels can finally beat a well coached team that right now is not doing well with the quarterback situation, lack of talent. You know that they're going to be sending Derrick Henry. I'm going to take the. I'm actually going to take the over. This is the Raiders get right game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can see that's another. This is a gettable over, I suppose, but the Titans have just looked so bad. Anthony?
I agree. The Titans look pretty bad. Derrick Henry is just not looking like, the Derrick Henry we want him to be. But I'll stay away from the over under, but I'm gonna take the Raiders laying the points. I think they're gonna win this one. And, over 2 for sure. So
Yeah. See. Okay. So that's what I was getting at. This spread should be much bigger than 2.
Sure, yeah.
Much bigger than 2. The Titans have looked bad, and even though they're at home, the Raiders should be giving up more points. And so I'll just take the Raiders in this one pretty easily. No problem, no questions asked. I'll lay those 2 points because I think the Raiders are easily going to win that game. Bills, Dolphins. Talk about a fun game to watch. 5-point spread. Miami is another home dog. 52.5 point over under. This is potentially the game of the early slate. Johnny, what do you like?
I'm taking the money with Miami this game.
You think Miami's going to win?
I think Miami's going to win this game.
Okay.
I think Miami is. I think I'm going to put it this way.
Spicy.
The reason why I'm saying that is because Buffalo right now is on a revenge, but Miami look really good. I mean, 2 through 6 touchdown passes. That to me says that you could go toe to toe with Josh Allen. And I think this is going to go down to a shootout. But I do think Miami is going to take this one. Give me Miami this game.
That's bold. I mean, I like the call, and I can see where you're coming from. I don't know that anybody really goes toe to toe with Josh Allen. Certainly not Tua right now. Anthony, what do you think?
Bold move, Cotton. I don't. I have to disagree. I mean, listen, the Dolphins just dude threw. I think it was over 450 yards last week.
Yeah,
maybe it was 467. Might have been the number.
Yeah, he went nuts.
Yeah, on the Ravens, good team, but their defense is not the Bills' defense.
True.
Like Tyreek Hill he'll get open. They're gonna score points. They're not gonna get blown out they're not gonna do it be like what every other opponent to the Bills has been the past 2 weeks. But the Bills are gonna still win. The Bills are gonna win.
Yeah, I think the Bills are a class above. I'd be willing to lay the.
I'll be willing to lay the points on.
Lay the points. Yeah, 5
they're
points.
They're gonna win by a touchdown for sure.
5 points isn't a lot to lay in a game where the Bills might want to prove a point against their division opponent.
They're proving a point every week.
So far, they have been proving points because they get up and then they just keep scoring and scoring.
To me, I would stay away from the points and just lay the Bills because like I said, the Bills are throwing over 30 points this game. No doubt about it. Question is, will Miami score over 20 or close to 20? We'll see how good the Bills defense is.
If you think really, yeah, I think if you really feel confident that the Bills are going over 30, I think you got to like the over there because Miami is a good team. They put points up.
Well, we'll see how good
and they're aggressive. Their play calling is aggressive.
The defense really is this week. I think they'll be tested.
Nice, and I love Johnny. I love that money line out of you. That's bold. That's a tough money
Johnny,
line.
I fucking hate that money line, bro.
Now, this next game, speaking of a game that on face value, maybe a preseason we all loved, especially you guys, I want to hear how you feel about this one now. The Vikings are at home, and they are 6-point favorites against the Detroit Lions with a 52.5 point line. You guys were both big on the Vikings coming into the season. They looked, I think, promising in week 1 and abysmal, horrendous in week 2. Johnny, where are you at on the Vikings right now against this Lions team who is frisky?
This is a tough game. This is a tough game, but I'm going to take Minnesota in this game. I think that Minnesota is more talented. I think that the Detroit is another year away of possibly maybe taking that leap. But I'm gonna say that Detroit is very, very, very competitive now. I mean, you can't count this team out. But this is do or die, and I'm gonna actually go as far as whoever wins this game. Really, the trajectory of that division determines, I think, a game like this, especially with how bad Green Bay's been.
Interesting. So you think this has like legitimate NFC North implications? This game right here, set the tone.
Correct. I do.
Nice. What about you, Anthony? You like? How do you feel about the Vikings right now?
See, if the Vikings played mediocre last week, I would have.
If the Vikings played mediocre, this would have
would've-
been one of the games
I
of the
would
week.
have clearly said Vikings with the points, but like Lions are frisky, and they're throwing 30 points a game.
Yeah.
And like this is but you know their defense isn't as good. There's the Cowboys that they played, right?
No, they're not.
So
But who played?
the Vikings,
I don't even remember at this point.
whatever the case may be, the Lions defense is worse.
But yeah, their defense still has a
So
little
like
ways to
you
go.
know,
Worse
like,
than Dallas.
this is going to be a comeback game for Cousins and Jefferson and Cooks. Cook, they're going to have a better game than they did last week. But I'll take the over on the points. I don't know. I'll stay away from the spread.
Yeah, I mean, I like betting on the Lions, so give me the Lions with the points and the over in this one. Chiefs Colts was supposed to be a good game, but now the Colts are getting 5.5 points at home. Another home dog, 50.5 point over under. Chiefs, I think, win this game, 9.5 times out of 10. Johnny, what do you think?
I'm taking Kansas City this game. They're going to smoke Indy. If they don't have, and I think this all relies on if they have healthy receivers, and especially for my fantasy team, not having Michael Pittman is like detrimental to this team. I mean, they could not do anything on offense, and it clearly shows that they have a lack of talent outside of Michael Pittman. So I think it really relies on Michael Pittman's availability. If Michael Pittman plays, I could see them scoring a few points, but just this defense looked absolutely horrible. I mean, they got blanked by Jacksonville. I mean, horrible. I could have been I was so wrong about last week's, and I'm not going to get fooled this week. Kansas City wins.
Fool me once, and all that shit. I'm gonna take Kansas City with the points. I'm gonna go under here.
Fair enough. Yeah, see, I'll lay the points with Kansas City, but I'll go over because I just think Kansas City will ring up, between 30 and 40 points by themselves. And then you're looking at Jonathan Taylor probably getting loose for one, and Pittman. I think Pittman's supposed to play. Pittman's good enough where they'll move the ball. They'll matriculate the ball down the field.
Yeah,
but the Chiefs are going to smash in this game. Jaguars, Chargers. The Jaguars did play. They have been playing better. And, I think, John, you called this. You were the champion, the Jaguars champion at the beginning of the season. You were talking about how they would be a very improved team. So far, you've been right. So good job on you. Chargers are 7-point home favorites, however, for the cross-country traveling Jaguars with a 47-point total. John, how do you feel about your Jaguars this week?
I think that this Jaguars team is this game's actually going to be closer than what people think. I'm not a big believer in the Los Angeles Chargers coaching staff. This team makes too many boneheaded mistakes. I think that what it showed you last week is how Doug Peterson is a great head coach. I don't know. I in my opinion, I'm going to take the under in this game.
I can see the under.
Well, John, so if you think the game's going to be closer than people think, you're also taking the Jaguars with the points then, right?
Yes, I am.
I mean, I think it's reasonable.
It's reasonable.
Everything you said is reasonable.
It's just the coaching staff they are making some very stupid moves. Herbert, see how much pain he really is. when
Yeah,
he's in the
his
game.
injury and Eckler's usage is a huge question mark, and Herbert's injury is a huge question mark. Those two
Yeah,
things, but I just
Eckler's-
think the Chargers are just
Eckler
flat
is
out
still
a better
getting
team,
still getting his reception work. He's just not getting that rush work.
and he's not getting work near the goal line like he was last year. He had the most goal line touchdowns last year. Now he doesn't have an even goal line. He's
You
barely any goal line touches.
You don't have to tell me, sir.
Well, I'm just I'm telling the listeners.
I already know.
So yeah. So you got the Jaguars. So where do you stand? Where do you stand on this game?
I think you take the Jaguars
And
with
you lay the points.
just because of the few question marks you have there. How healthy and is Keenan Allen when he comes back? Is he going to be
Is he even going to be back? We
Right.
don't even know. We
and
haven't been
if he
confirmed on
is
that.
it like light work? So you got to be able to take that. I'll stay away from the over under there,
Mhm.
but I'll take the Jaguars with the points.
Yeah, I like that under, John. I like that under in that game. And yeah, the Jaguars with the points is definitely enticing because they're a team. I think that there's a lot of emotion involved in that, though. I mean, I think the Chargers are just a better roster from top to bottom. They're just better, simply better on paper. But it's like the Jaguars are like, wow, they're just playing better than we thought they would comparative to the Chargers playing versus how we thought they would.
Right.
And so now we're like, all right, well, Jaguars, they feel better right now. The Chargers are just a better team. Like, let's be real.
That's the only thing. If you have a healthy, fine Herbert, that can go over.
Chargers could wipe the floor with them. They could wipe the floor with them.
So we'll see. And maybe if they start making a couple better calls, hey Eckler, if you're listening,
look,
help me out, cuz
I'll tell you
fantasy work.
I'll tell you what. There are people who are talking about Brandon Staley being a bad head coach or being a questionable head coach, but things that are going on in Denver right now are just nobody can hear or see anything else except that because he is so egregiously bad. He's like that's just another level. We'll get to the Denver game in a little bit.
I think I've played better Madden games than him, and I do pretty.
Children have played better Madden games. It's clear. This guy never played Madden. Like there's just no way. Packers Bucks. This is an interesting game, racked with injuries on both sides. The Buccaneers are at home and they're 1-point favorites with a 42-point total. A lot of that has to do with the fact that like everybody in this game on both teams are just flat out injured.
Yeah. So for me, I just scroll past this game.
Okay.
But all I say is I would love to see some Romeo Doubs.
Yeah, this would be nice because he's the only Packers receiver who's not injured right now. He's the only one without an injury.
He's the most healthiest guy that they have.
He's literally the only one without
as
an
far
injury.
as receiving core.
Yeah.
So let's hope. Obviously, it's still going to be a Jones and Dylan, day.
You would hope, but you never know with them because the
like,
usage is crazy.
You know what? We have our receivers are banged up, so let's just try to keep using them. Let's keep Aaron Jones on the sideline.
Aaron Jones
Dave's playing
touched the ball. Every time he touched the ball, he got like 9.9 yards last week, and he was just like completely unstoppable.
Wasn't a first down, Aaron.
Right, but
sit down.
It's completely ridiculous. John, where do you stand on this game?
I'm going to go on the over. Please, please, please. I need a shootout in this game. The reason why that is because this game, if we were talking about this 2 weeks ago in week 1, we are looking forward to week 3, Green Bay versus Tampa Bay. Both have lost a considerable amount of talent. Which of would Brady and or Rodgers overcome each other? Now we're looking at is that, the injuries are there. I can understand why somebody wants to do the under on this because of the amount of injuries, but I'm hoping for an over.
I think the Packers, if you're getting a point, I'll take the Packers here. The Buccaneers, they don't have Chris Godwin. They're not going to have Julio Jones. They might not have Russell Gage. They're definitely not going to have Mike Evans because he's out with the suspension. Their best receiver is going to be a banged up Rashad Perriman and Scotty Miller. It's completely crazy. They have nobody to give the ball to. So it is literally going to be Brady versus Rodgers because neither one of these guys has any receivers. Rodgers' receivers are better than Brady's, and he's throwing to a banged up Sammy Watkins, a banged up Christian Watson if he plays,
banged up
Lazard, and Romeo Doubs. So we're going to see what these two Hall of Fame all-time greats can do with like literally chicken shit receivers, trash garbage, and see what they can do to move the ball down the field. But with all those things being said, I think the Buccaneers are just beat up a little bit more, and give me the Packers if they're getting a point in this nonsense fest, because I think the best player on the field is Aaron Jones, and it's not close. It's Aaron Jones, then a million miles, and then the next player on the field.
Or not.
Okay, if you want to make him the next player, that's fine with you. I might think AJ Dillon is better than Fournette, but whatever the case may be, it's Aaron Jones and then a million miles, and then that conversation starts. Aaron Jones is so much better than anybody else on the field on either team, that I think that the Packers just give him if all they need to do is just toss him the ball a few times and he gets 10 yards to carry or 10 yards of touch, they win this game.
Tops.
Yeah, and it's plus 1 point for -110. Give me the fucking Packers on the money liner here. That's what I'll do. I'll take the plus money. Give me on money line. Money. Rams Cardinals could be fun. Another one with some injuries. The Rams are favored on the road. Another home dog situation. 3.5 point spread. 48.5 point line. Johnny, where are you?
Oh man, can you repeat that one more time? One more time. Sorry.
425. Rams Cardinals. Rams are favored on the road. Another home dog situation. 3.5 point spread. 48.5 point line. Johnny, where are you? Johnny, where are you?
Give me the Rams on this one. I'm gonna take the points with the Rams.
Okay.
I like this one. I think this is gonna be a fun game. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on this game. Give me the over on this, and I think the Rams this game. This is a statement game that they can really show that they could ride the ship. I don't know if that I have a good gut. This is a gut feeling call. I'm not going to say that there's really any logic. I think this is an LA Rams gut feeling, but give me the Rams this game.
And it's a division game too. You never know what's going to happen, Anthony.
I'm going agreement on both. Rams at the points, and I'm going to go over it.
Okay.
You know, they just the Rams said it after week 1. They have to get my boy involved. Okay, Allen Robinson. That's going to fall. And Cooper Kupp's still going to do his thing. They're going to score. It's going over. What did I say? And then you're going to have Kyler Murray just gains 7 yards but runs 37.
It's their offense is still like Cliff Kingsbury needs to go. They need to get a new coach in there. He doesn't know what he's doing. It's official, and they're just a little banged up right now. They need DeAndre Hopkins. Connor is a little bit banged up.
Brown's got to get a little more out there.
Well, Brown's been okay.
Yeah,
I think he's been fine. He's been fine. The kid, your boy, has been okay. No, I have to go Rams here. The Cardinals, they were fun for a little while, but we know what they are. We know exactly what they are. Seahawks. This is another interesting line. I feel Seahawks home. Falcons. The Seahawks rather are favored by 1 point in this game with a 42-point over/under. John, you're shaking your head. What do you got?
This game is so disgusting. I don't even want to look at it. It's so bad. It's like Marcus Mariota versus Geno Smith. I mean, ugh.
Hey,
I know for a fact.
Pretty good. Put some respect on Geno's name. He's looked pretty good this year.
So he
for
what you anticipated and what he's doing, for sure.
To your point about that, you bring up a great point. Give me the points with Seattle. However, I think with this game, I'm going to go with the over.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's only
game?
42 points. It's only 42 points. I want to see whether they decide to ever involve Kyle Pitts in their offense. Because if they do, Drake London's pretty legit. If the Falcons decide to start actually giving Pitts some opportunities as well, then yeah, I could see this game going over for sure. What about you?
Two words.
Go ahead.
One of them's a rapper. One of them's a place.
Okay.
It's Drake London, sir.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Sure.
Take the Falcons in the over.
Oh.
Take the Falcons in the over. I really at some point they had to have this discussion like, what are we doing? You know, this guy, his name is Kyle. Like, it's and what other game can just hey, let's play that.
You would
You would
think. You would
so
think.
I'm gonna go with that, but still don't count out Drake London. He's
Drake London is legit. Drake London is legit. Yeah, you can give me the Falcons in this one just because they're getting the point, because both money lines are negative money. So I'll just take the point there and let's dance. And that 42-point overs are more fun. The Sunday night game, speaking of the Broncos, they are hosting the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the Broncos are home dogs in this one, 1.5 points only, with a 45-point total. John, where do you stand on the Sunday night game?
Denver's looked abysmal. They look really abysmal.
Oh, yeah.
Give me the 49ers any day of the week. Kyle Shanahan's one of the best coaches in the league. However, I do think that this Denver's offense going to wake up a little bit. I don't see this team 3 weeks in a row bad in their offense. I think that this offense starts showing a little bit more of its potential, but it doesn't mean give me San Fran in this game. Give me the over on this game. I think Denver scores a little bit more points than what people think. Give me the money. Give me the money on 49ers this week.
It's better to take the spread. The money's worse. It's 110 with the spread. Yeah, it's 110 with the spread. It's 120 with the money, believe it or not. So you may as well lay the points there. Although
lay the points, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, unless you think it's going to be that close of a game, which I don't think it's going to be that close of a game. Anthony, what do you think?
The Broncos are not going to. I mean, the way they've been playing, I don't know how much better they're going to get in one game. They got a lot of work to do. I do agree that I can see this game going over. I would just take the San Fran with the points and stay away from the spread, just because if the Broncos look and play how they were in any shape, form, week 1 or 2, San Fran's going to throw up 20 points and then Broncos throw up nothing.
Right. Yes.
So I'm staying away from the spread, from the over under, and just taking the Niners.
I'm gonna lay the 1.5 because it's just 1.5 with the Niners as well. And it's John made the point that Shanahan's one of the best coaches in the league. We have one of the best coaches in the league versus arguably one of the worst coaches of all time in this game. And it's not like a joke. I'm being serious.
No,
this guy has had the worst 2-game debut of any coach, arguably in NFL history. Denver will get better, but they're not going to get good enough to beat Kyle Shanahan in one single week. It's just simply not going to happen. Now, this coach, there's no way, unless they bring in Bill Parcells to stand next to Hackett on the sideline and tell him what to do. There's no chance that he's going to be able to hang with Kyle Shanahan in this game. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. And so I'll take the 49ers. I'll lay that 1.5 every single time. The points, though, I could be convinced to take the over there. That 45 is enticing because you could see the Broncos getting a couple points or a couple touchdowns. You could see, Sutton getting loose for one, Javonte getting loose for one. You can see stuff like that happening. Dallas Cowboys on Monday night are visiting your New York Giants. The Giants are favored by a point with the lowest over-under of the week of the games that we're looking at. It's 39, which is rough. Now the Cowboys are starting their backup quarterback, and the Giants are starting a future backup quarterback. And so, Anthony, take it away.
After week 2 showing Dallas, where we all thought it wasn't going to be well, they came out and showed that they can produce.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, on the other hand, showed that they can be pretty lucky. The defense has played. I think they've done their job. They played fairly well. Let's just see if we can get some week 1 Barkley usage in week 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the over, and I'll take the Giants.
Oh, baby!
Giants going 3-0.
How about that, John? Where are you?
I'm going to agree with him. I think that the Giants are the better team right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I think in terms of talent-wise, the Giants are arguably more talented. I think that coaching is kind of similar. I'm going to take the Giants this game, and the Giants also winning next week against Chicago. I have the Giants going 4-0 until their first loss in week 5.
Yeah, I don't think on paper, I don't think the Giants roster is better than the Dallas roster. I disagree with you there, but in this game, I will take the Giants. I just think that the Cowboys are a little beat up right now. Obviously, not having their starting quarterback is a humongous disadvantage. With Dak, this game isn't even close. It's the Cowboys. And that is the slate. Johnny, what's your 3-game parlay for this week?
Give me the spread on Vegas.
So you are going to lay the 2 points on the Raiders.
Yes. Give me the under for the Philly and Washington game.
Under 47 for the Eagles and the Commanders. Go ahead.
And then give me the money on the hottest take. I'll give me the money on Miami.
There you go. The money line on Miami. So your $1 bet is plus 962 for a 1062 payout. You are locked in, sir. Okay, so here's my 3-way parlay. Mine is the Lions on the money line. Okay, I got the Packers on the money line, and I got the Niners laying the 1.5. Okay, so that is plus 1064. So I'm $1 to win 1164. So Johnny, I'm $1 extra over you, basically. And then Anthony,
The Chiefs, the Rams, and the Ravens.
Moneyline Madness.
No, because there wasn't money. No, just all covering with the points, with not a very great plus, but a plus 596.
So what's the $1 bet?
$6.96. Just a quick 6x your money right there.
That's always a good one. Good thing to do. Hey, John, would you like to share with us your DK lineup for the 3-man this week?
Yes. I'm
Go
going to go with quarterback Derek Carr. I'm going to go with running back Aaron Jones. I'm going to go with running back James Robinson. Wide receiver DJ Moore. Wide receiver Braden Cooks. Wide receiver Drake London.
Ooh, okay.
Tight end Gerald Everett. Flex Miles Sanders. Defense Miami.
Beautiful. Anthony, do you have your lineup ready?
I went with the old Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown stack.
Okay, cool.
And then I got David Montgomery, who I think is going to have a good game. He's always just a consistent guy. You know?
Okay.
Ramon Stevenson. I had to go a little lower than I wanted to.
Who? Ramondre?
Stevenson.
Okay.
AJ Brown, your boy.
Okay.
Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
Like I said, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Everett, tight end. Olave, and believe it or not,
Okay.
Jets D.
Oh, interesting. I also went with the Jared Goff, Amon-Ra stack.
Ooh.
But I brought it back. I brought it back with Justin Jefferson, and then I used Greg Dortch as my third receiver.
You son of a torch.
Yeah. And so my running backs are Josh Jacobs and Damian Pierce. Higbee at tight end. I flexed Drake London, and then I'm using the Raiders defense. So I have the Josh Jacobs Raiders defense stack there. And then I have Goff, Jefferson, St. Brown, and then I have Dortch, Higbee, and those are my players.
I do like Higbee. I was trying to get Higbee, but it was $100 difference that I needed. Dude, wait, because we have to go back for a second, guys.
Okay, yeah. So let's recap our 3-man from last week. And suddenly Anthony remembered how to play this game because you remember that he actually won it. So last week, Johnny, you came in last place. You had a 111 and change. You had a down game from Barkley, a down game from Chase, and a down game from Robbie Anderson. Cortland Sutton was really your only good player. I came in second place with a 134.6. I had Cooper Kupp and Curtis Samuel go off. I had Elijah Moore and Saquon Barkley disappoint. And then Anthony beat me by just under 10 points with a 144.3. And he had Carson Wentz, Drake London, Amon-Ra, St. Brown go bonkers. And then like everybody else in his roster had a bad game. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tyler Boyd, Dalton Schultz, Terry McLaurin, all of them have bad games. But some Amon-Ra and Carson Wentz went so crazy. And Drake London had such a nice game that Anthony was able to beat John and my pitiful lineup. So that was our 3-man recap from last week. Hopefully this week, Anthony doesn't win. So here we go. Let's take a look at our fantasy football league this week. Hey, John, who was your hero from week 2?
Give me the Moth as the hero for this week. Both former champions. Both had really, really bad first weeks. I thought that it's not a good spot to be in. I think the hero for this week is the Moth beating a former champion Albert, scoring a respectable 155.58. This is a step in the right direction. Right now, he is currently in 8th place, and you are my hero of the week.
Fantastic. Anthony, who's your hero?
The bums.
Okay.
Them drunken bums. 2-0 divisional matchup came out, right? Second highest score of the week, which was still fairly high. You can't, how do you
Yeah.
come out on top of
Most weeks, that would be the highest score.
Yeah. The second margin, biggest margin by 1 point. So I'm gonna go with the bumps.
Awesome. My hero is the Gotham Rogues. Pretty clear. They scored over 200 points this week. They were the highest scoring team in the league by a pretty wide margin. Lamar Jackson had over 50 points. Drake London had a great game. Nick Chubb had a great game. Tampa Bay defense scored 29 points. 200 points is an automatic win. 200 points is, that's a record book performance. The Gotham Rogues, they had a huge game. Johnny unfortunately ran into a buzzsaw. A 139 is a pretty good score. You're going to be in most contests, but when one player on a team scores 52.6 points, there's not a lot you can do. You're gonna lose that game. So my hero for the week was the Gotham Rogues. Anthony, who was your GOAT for this week?
Blumpkin. It's Team Blumpkin, sir.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Blumpkins are just weird to think about, first of all.
Yeah, well, yeah, the concept is just detestable, but go ahead.
Well, second lowest score in the week. They had 5 single-digit scores, only 2 over 20. Yeah, so they lost by 63.3 points. And the next biggest deficit was the guy who scored over 200, and it was 64.76 points, sir. Lockett left on the bench. Springs, get out of the bathroom, guy.
Yeah, or just flush.
Flush.
Johnny.
Same shit, different toilet, but
Johnny, who's your GOAT for this week?
The GOAT for this week is Omar's outstanding team. He scored 90.46 against Anthony's second lowest scoring, 107.26.
John,
Anthony,
we're talking about just the GOAT, bro.
all right.
Wow. Well, let him do his report.
Diggs. All right.
All right. So the reason why I'm saying you're the GOAT is because Anthony would have lost to every single person in the league this week, and you couldn't score over the lowest scoring team. I mean, that's abysmal. There's a reason why you're in 12th place and you don't have a name for your team. Jeez, just name your team already.
It's bad. It's bad juju. Yeah, it's bad juju for sure. Bad karma to not have a team name and he started a zero player. That's never good. My goal for this week is the Golden Showers. So the Golden Showers lost by just about 12 points to 11 amateurs, 1 pro, falling to 1-1. 11 amateurs went to 2-0. This game could have been won by the Golden Showers. They left a bunch of points on the bench, most notably Irv Smith over Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts has just been a huge disappointment this year. I get it. You spend a lot of high draft capital on a guy. You want him to work out. But this is a situation where he threw the baby out with the bathwater. He cut his nose off to spite his face. He, dug in with the players he drafted, not making the moves necessary to manage his team properly. And stubbornness cost him the victory here against 11 amateurs, 1 pro, who was very beatable in this situation. He obviously 150 is a good score, as we mentioned with Pretty Boy Johnny. 139 is a good score. We're not talking about bad scores here. We're talking about bad team management. That's what lost him this game here. And just in general, right now after 2 weeks, I think we can all kind of look around the league and see that there's a couple of teams in our league that just are not managing their teams well. This is a 12-team league that does not have 12 competitive teams in it this year. We usually have, competitive league across the board, but there's just a couple teams in this league that are just not in this league this year. So if you are actually managing your team well and competitively, congratulations to you, because you're at an extreme advantage, because this is not a 12-team league this year. This is the most unbalanced this league has probably ever been. And we're going to get to what I mean a little bit further, but there's just a couple managers who they just need to do things. They need to make moves. Now, I was actually talking to Tyler Fight Club, Albie, earlier. He's a manager who we mentioned in last week's episode, who we were surprised Anthony made him his GOAT just because he was surprised about his team management. And that's where I'm at with Danny Mac, just team management. But Albie actually just like talked about it. He's like, yeah, I know what I need to do. He's like, I'm not happy with my roster. I need to make trades. I need to make my moves. I know what I need to do to work my way out of it. He's in the game. I wonder if we have 12 managers who are in the game this year. So, we're going to find that out. Hey, Johnny, what's your key matchup for this coming week?
Key matchup of the week actually is Sweep the Leg versus the Golden Showers.
Oh, snap.
That is actually my hot take of the week. Let's see if the Golden Showers and that Jamari Chase, that St. Brown, let's see if Kyle Pitts wakes up a little bit. Let's see if his team lives up a little bit to the expectation that it is. And hopefully get a win under the belt. Or I think that this is a game where this is a week where Sweep the Leg could go 3-0 and possibly keep it going. That Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and that Aaron Jones. Right now, I see that this is a game that is defining for the Sweep the Leg, and I just don't see a team right now that is, you're going to run into a person that in this matchup, it's really important for Danny Mac to win, but this is also a game, this is also a matchup where Sweep the Leg can really solidify himself as, again, one of the top teams in the league.
My key matchup is the Moth and the Blumpkin. As much as I want to stop saying the word the Blumpkin.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like you do. It sounds like you want to say a lot about it, but go ahead. You're gonna have to say a little bit more about it. Go.
They are right around the middle of the pack as far as where they sit. They're right on top of each other in a division. They're both 1-1. They're separated by a total of 6 points in total points scored. Mm-hmm. So they're very close to each other. So who's gonna push who down the ladder?
This just
in the face.
This just in. Team Blumpkin has David Njoku on the bench right now. Now, he has Travis Kelce, to be fair. He has Travis Kelce, but Njoku has 22.1 points on the bench right now, and he just got hit on the 2-yard line to drop a pass. He's having a huge game, 8 for 81 and a touchdown in the third quarter, and they're going into the end zone again as I speak this, or heading into the end zone, trying to get in, and he's sitting on Blumpkin's bench right now. We got ourselves a situation here. There's a lot of weird shit going on. Like I said, these rosters make no sense. Like the guys got Travis Kelce and David Njoku. We got a guy with Kyle Pitts and another notable tight end. We got a guy with Mark Andrews and Tyler Higbee. Like it just doesn't make any sense. Homeboy starting Kittle and Freiermuth. Like it's foolishness. So okay. You got Blumpkin and the Moth as your key matchup. My key matchup of the week is the Drunken Bums taking on Pretty Boy Johnny. The Drunken Bums are first place in our league, 2-0. Pretty Boy Johnny is 1-1. The Drunken Bums are a complete fraud team. They're a joke. They do not belong in first place, and it's like they have the most points in the league, but it's because of a couple of individual performances, pretty much just by Stephon Diggs specifically. His roster makes no sense. He's starting 2 tight ends. Kittle hasn't played, and he's still got him in the starting lineup. He's not going to stay in first place for very long. He's a fraud. He's going to fall apart. His team is not going to be 2-0. He's going to be 2-10.
Tell me how you really feel.
No, I'm just being honest with you. Like his team is
right now. He has a Freiermuth in there with 0 points.
He's got a Freiermuth in there with a 0 and Kareem Hunt in with a 7.3. So that's 7.3 points from 2 players in a game against John Ortiz, where John has 18.9 out of Amari Cooper and 15 points out of Najee Harris. So this game is already off to a start where I expected it to be, where the Drunken Bums gets exposed. Pretty Boy Johnny completely undresses him, and the Bums starts to go on a losing streak. And a guy who refused to make trades in the beginning part of the season is now going to start to find his team fall apart, and he's not going to be able to do anything about it. And the Bums is going to end up with a losing record this year. Book it. The Bums is a fraud, and 11 amateurs are a fraud. They should have lost last week. Both teams that are in first place in the division this week, after week 2, will not be in first place in the division after week 6 or week 7 of our league. And one of these teams I guarantee will not even make the playoffs. I don't know which one it is, probably the Bums, but either one of those two teams isn't even going to make the playoffs right now because of how fraudulent they are. So that's my key matchup, and it already looks like I'm going to be proven right, and we're not even through the Thursday night shit fest. So that's our recap of the week's games. So that's all we got for this week. Good show, fellas. Nice work. Hopefully we get better with our 3-pick parlays and one of us can hit one sometime soon. That would be fun. I will see you guys next week where it's always Sunday.